Back to the basics, guys, and let's talk grocery deals, grocery savings, cutting your budgets, all of those money saving things. Not only did we take a few weeks off there in May, but I know for a lot of folks, we are seeing more and more people say, you know what, I have got to refigure out how to do couponing or how to cut the grocery budget as we start to see prices, as we continue to see prices climb and climb. I get it. We're all feeling that pinch. So that's where I want to go tonight. Just some quick and easy things that you could be doing to have an impact on your grocery budget. So first off, always the first place to start here is in thinking. We don't even have to call it meal planning, just thinking ahead of time what you want to eat. Having a plan before you go into the grocery store is a key way to save money in the grocery store. You know, it's all about don't go to the grocery store hungry, all those little tips. They're really all getting you to avoid buying things that you're not going to use, maybe you don't need this week. That's the same thing of thinking about what you want to eat. So we don't have to call it meal planning if meal planning stresses you out, but having an idea of what you think you might cook this week would be huge. An idea of what do we have going on this week? In our house, we have something every single day this week, but it doesn't affect dinner. So you still got to sit down and eat, and you still have to have a plan. Guys, having a plan in the grocery store isn't just going to having a plan for dinner isn't just going to save you in the grocery store. It's also saving you from those quick fast foods out. So that is also part of your budget. You know, we look at things and we kind of keep them all in their own little pockets. But saving money is saving money. So if you can save money by eating out a little bit less and cooking in, that's also helping, right? So all of this together, we got to think about what we want to eat. I would encourage you as well, maybe for this summer, even just a few weeks at a time, let's not go extreme with those meals. So let's go back to the basics on what you're cooking. I'm not saying just have rice and beans, but I am saying when you decide to start, we're going to look through and we're going to pick out fancy recipes or we want to try something new, those meals cost more. Those meals are not, we grilled some chicken, we ate some fresh veggies in a salad. That meal is on budget and great for keeping your budget low versus we made a fancy meal with this glaze and it took white wine. The more ingredients you're adding into your meals, the more your meals are going to cost. Now, I'm not trying to tell you to eat horrible food either, just getting you to think about getting back to the basics on everything. So as you ponder your meals, that you're pondering what are some meals that would be lower cost. There are some easy ways to still have delicious meals without needing to throw in capers and you get it, all the ingredients that are not going to come on sale. So we really don't want to include them in the meal in the first place. Just so you're, pondering all of that. Connie chiming in on that one. She says, I eat after I go to the grocery store on your way home. I guess you could do that. You've just bought a lot of groceries, but I know for me, if I'm hungry, I buy a lot more groceries than if I'm not hungry in that grocery store. So in terms of planning meals, I just saw Samantha says, I really like the shop your pantry. Exactly. That's really what I encourage you to do before you head to the grocery store as you're pondering what do we want to eat this week. Look at what you have on hand first. Yes, I could go to the store. I could follow solely what the store sales are this week. But if I've got a lot of things that I can use that I have on hand, that's less that I need to handle this week that's potentially not on sale. Those are items that are, in a sense, zero cost to you. You've already purchased them. You budgeted them a week ago or quite a few weeks ago if you've been couponing for a bit or you have any sort of stockpile. So eating from what you have on hand, planning your meals around what you have on hand is a huge way to save. Along with that being that I only buy what is on sale. So guys, this is where meat and potatoes kind of couponing, the bare bones basic here is that we only want to buy items when they're on sale. Now, we don't even have to throw in a coupon on that. if you want to save money in a grocery store, you only buy something when it's on sale. This is, that's just the basic concept, right? That is really hard to do. How many of you needed something in the last week and you had to go to the store and you buy it? That's like 90% of people, right? You had something that you needed, so you went to the store and you bought it. Well, if you need it, odds are it's not on sale. And the odds of you needing it and it being on sale, really slim, not gonna line up. So I really do want to get in the habit of only shopping the sales, and then, this is the key part, buying enough of those sale items to last you until it is back on sale. So we are seeing prices jump all the time. What we're not seeing, nothing has changed about the national sales cycle that has run for I don't know how many decades in the grocery store. I've been running Southern Savers for 14 years now. It's been running for 14 years, guys. Nothing has changed here. So every 6 weeks, we see sale items come back around. Meaning, if I go to the store today and there are things on sale today that we will use, maybe I don't even need them today. Maybe I've got one in the pantry. Do I have enough to last me 6 weeks in the pantry? Probably not. So if it's on sale this week and we will use it, we need to get enough to last us 6 weeks. Come 6 weeks from now, it's back on sale. I'm getting low, right? Because I bought enough for 6 weeks and I will buy it again. That is like the key concept of all of it. I didn't even mention coupons there. That's just buying it on sale and stocking up on it when it's on sale. And we can really do that on everything. Somebody sent me a message this past week asking, help us fight inflation. What are some key items that we should stock up on? And I don't know if you liked my answer. So if you're on, my answer is the same. It's anything that you will use that is on sale. You should get enough of what is on sale for 6 weeks. So that is the best way to fight inflation, is to make a pact with yourself that I am not going to buy it if it is not on sale. Now, I made that pact with myself quite a long time ago, and my whole family has learned to work around it. It's not always happy. There are definitely moments my husband can chime in and tell you guys that he'll be like, I just really want to eat this. You know what? Chili beans, they are not going to be on sale all summer. So there are times when I will break the pact and just tell him, like, I love you. I bought chili beans for you because that is one of his favorite meals, even if it's 110 outside. But the goal is that we only buy it on sale. We buy enough of it to last us until it is back on sale. And that's really, really simple. Following that, just general 6-week sales cycle. Not everything follows that. Some of it's actually shorter. So before you panic, meat items are really almost like every 4 weeks. We see them rotate between beef, chicken, fish. You get the idea. So there aren't 6 weeks in between those items. Don't have to get quite as much. Though, personally, I would tell you some of your better prices are to buy in bulk when it comes to meat, and to get them in the freezer. But if you can't do that, you don't have the freezer space, I don't actually need 6 weeks there. I would be okay with just 4 and rotating through what the meat was that we got each week. So just some simple basics on that one, guys. And for some of you, that may be brand new, but for others of you, I hope that's just a refresher. You've hopefully heard me say that before because that really is like the key to getting your grocery budget down. Let's see. Susan Hill, I love it. She says, it's not really hard. What fruit are we eating this week? Whatever pineapple is on sale. This week pineapple is $2. That's the fruit we're eating. And exactly. So even for my kids who are huge fruit eaters, it's whatever fruit is on sale this week. Might be a little creative, but my kids love mango. They'll eat pretty much anything I bring home. They'll eat all of it, pretty much, whatever I bring home. Okay, Teresa, I love your question. It's kind of a key question. It seems that a lot of the things that I need are never on sale, and I just can't get the coupon deals. So a couple things to help you here. If you feel like you're in that boat, one thing that you can try is to use the item search that is on Southern Savers. So I've already pulled up the Publix page here, but the item search is always on the right-hand sidebar of Southern Savers, and you can literally search anything. It's going to tell you what is on sale right now across all of the grocery stores, national stores, drugstores that we cover on Southern Savers. But you could also do this, Teresa. You can put in a date in this box, and it could be a date in the past. I could put in a date of 3 months ago, and I would see every sale that has happened on that item as well. So if you're feeling stuck, like these are the items that we buy, I'm not seeing any deals on them, it may be that you're missing them. It may be that they're at a different store than you're normally shopping in. Generally, every item in the grocery store does go on sale. So my hope is that those sales are there. I will say, if you're in that boat, if you use the item search and it's not returning any of the deals that you're still not seeing them. If you've got some really specific items that you're wanting, really specific brands. One example for me, when my husband and I jump into keto, we're not like keto forever, folks. We like to do it for a month or so, and then I lose my mind and really want a piece of fruit. But when we do keto, one of my favorites are Monk Pack keto bars. I shared this with you guys a few months ago, just in a brand. They're delicious, and they're the only brand that I have kind of started to like. Now, I started to grab them because there were Ibotta offers and they were free. So I tried them out and it worked, right? I love them. They are a very specific brand. I don't have another brand that I can switch up between. It's just this one bar that I really like, and it becomes my breakfast every morning, but they're expensive. So if that is the boat that you're in, and keep in mind, this isn't a product I buy a ton. We don't live on keto all the time. But when we do, it's my happy breakfast. Then I need to get creative, and a lot of times that's not in the grocery store. So if you've got those really, really specific items and you're hunting for deals on them, if they are an item that you can order online, I would encourage you to go hunting to see where you can find the deals for those items. I was talking with someone recently in town, and their big thing that they were hunting for was dried mango. And I get it. We all have something that we love. So she was hunting for deals like, where can I get the best price on dried mango? That's probably one of the more unique requests that I've had before. But honestly, that is you know what? I have no doubt you can grab that online in bulk, much cheaper than you can grab that in individual little packages in the grocery store. Does it come on sale? I mean, maybe. We do see some sales on dried fruit, but if you're really, really specific on brand, and she had a lot of specific things for her dried mango, then you're going to need to take your specific needs and go specifically hunting for a deal on that brand. And so that might be a tip for you there, Teresa. The deals do exist. The other thing that you could do too, so for some folks that you feel like that's your category, I'm not seeing deals on these specific items, then let's look at your grocery budget and let's try to save on the things you can find deals on, right? So maybe this is where you say, you know what? I'm going back and I'm going to shop the CVS deals. Because if I can get all of my personal care and all of my household cleaning supplies and whatnot, and not have to pay for those items, shop in the drugstore deals, then that gives me extra money to have in my grocery budget for your dried mango or whatever it might be that you are trying to hunt for. So maybe that's the concession that you make as well. You're not finding the deal on the specific item that you want, or maybe not as great of a deal as you were hoping. Then it becomes, you know what, I'm going to make some room in the grocery budget by saving in some other categories. So I don't know if all of that will help, but hopefully it's a little bit of a help. To go back to this really quick, guys, so I pulled this up and I showed you the item search, but I do want you to realize that when you're using the lists that are on Southern Savers, so this is the Publix ad, I just pulled one up. You've got a few different lists to work with. The next week's Publix ad is already up. It's the next tab over. But everything that is listed here are just the items on sale. So I do not type the entire weekly ads for grocery stores. We only type the items that are really kind of hitting the 40% off mark. That's really our goal. That's a real sale. So if you look through the weekly ad and you're thinking, man, Jenny just really missed some items. I did. It's because they're not on sale. Our goal is to only buy what's on sale so that you can sit here. There may not be coupons for these items. Our coupons, the amount of coupons we have, definitely less than it used to be 10, 15 years ago. But the sales still running, still going. So you can sit here and add any of these sales to your shopping list that you want and head in and shop those sales when you get to the store. So just to kind of remind you that what is listed there are just the sale items for those grocery ads. And we cover a number of grocery stores in the Southeast. If we do not cover your grocery store, you can actually make your own shopping list on Southern Savers. So it'll be up at the top. Across the top, you'll see List Maker, or Public List Maker is the name of it. And you can make your own list and add coupons to your own list if you wanted to as well. Okay, let me jump out and answer some other questions. Oh, Carrie, I like it. Carrie says it bothers her soul to buy anything not on sale. I'm with you, Carrie. Usually if I do buy something that's not on sale, I need to inform whoever I did, like my example with my husband, but it will always be like, I need you to know that I sacrificed for you. I bought it, but it took a lot of pain and anguish to pay the not sale price. For sure. Okay, so to keep going, Lynn is saying Coffee Mate has not been on sale in a long time. Let's see, Lynn. Let's go hunting for Coffee Mate. I remember it's been in some tiny ads lately, and not amazing prices for Coffee Mate, I will say. But we have seen a few. So this is just me, and I do have my item. Let's see. Let's go to check all and search. So I have this set to show us all the deals on Coffee Mate from March 1st. And hopefully this helps you a little bit. So Winn-Dixie has been running it on sale, and Kroger has been running it on sale between those two stores. Not amazing prices, but Coffee Mate hasn't even had coupons in a long time. But the sales are there. So it might be, if you had either of those stores in your area, that you just kind of go hunting specifically for those sales. Also to mention here, guys, we do have a feature on Southern Savers. So if Coffee Mate is your thing, we have item alerts. So I can make this big, but you can add in anything you want. I recommend you be specific here, because if the name is even inside of a name, it's a database. It doesn't understand it. So if you're wanting Coffee Mate, spell it like Coffee Mate, coffee-mate, which is what the brand does, and add it, and it's going to send you an email. Anytime Coffee Mate is added into a grocery list, you're going to know that it was on sale. So super easy. If that list ever gets annoyed or gets difficult for you, this is under my profile. So this is, I'm over on the site. Go when you're logged in, edit your profile. It's on the edit your profile page, and you can take any of these off that you want as well. So if you're like, you know what, I'm not going to buy Bold House Juice anymore, I can take it away, and it will no longer send you that email. So super, super simple to get those item alerts. If there is something specific that you're needing, just make sure you spell it specifically. Okay, so Paige is, I don't know if you're asking a question or stating, but Paige is saying, maybe not to forget about Ollie's or Big Lots in terms of just some grocery sales that they will run. I agree. Those are just general outlet stores. Can be hit and miss based on what they have, but you can get some great prices for the things that they have on hand at the time. Okay. Oh, Nadine says, grocery shopping has just become depressing. I can't seem to get my grocery bill lowered. So if that's the case, you've hit the point where you're like, I feel like we're doing everything and it's not getting lower. What I might say, Nadine, is let's start to look at maybe some other things that are getting added in that aren't necessities, and for a few weeks that you remove those items. So one of them is behind me on the floor. I'm not gonna pick up my computer, but A non-necessity that I splurged and added in last week because it was buy one, get one in Publix, and I haven't purchased them in so long, is sparkling water. The buy one, get one sale, just, I don't know. I couldn't resist for some reason when I was in the store last week. But I've been doing really well on not buying sparkling water. I do have a sparkling water maker and making my own here at the house. I don't know why I broke down, but little things like that. So that was my weakness last week, and it does affect you. It still at the buy one, get one price. You're still paying like $2.50 a box for them. So leaving out some of those when you can is a help to your budget in the end. So I'm not saying like leave out everything fun and everything amazing, but look at what you're bringing home. Look at what's in your pantry and then ponder yourself. Okay, what here is really a splurge? And I will confess I'm right there guilty. I have my sparkling water on the floor next to me. It is a reminder that I think a lot of us have lost touch with what a splurge really is, by the way. So we need to get in touch with what splurges are. Kind of a reminder to us, does it feed you, clothe you, house you? If not, probably a splurge. We're just talking groceries here, but that's a lot of things in your life. So when we're looking at grocery stores, for me, when budgets are really tight or we're trying to clamp down to save a little bit of extra, that quickly becomes snacks. It becomes any juices. I actually haven't bought juice for the kids in months and months, and people have stopped asking for it. Eventually they get it isn't coming home. Nothing that we ask is going to make juice show back up when we unload the car with groceries. It isn't there. So we do milk. I do get 2 gallons of milk a week for our crew, and they drink milk. It's milk or water around here. And sometimes they drink too much milk. Every now and then I feel like even rationing milk, because milk can get expensive too. But those are some of the things that I've decided kind of go. So snacks, juice, sparkling water. I don't know why I broke down last week. Ice cream. My kids were commenting how we don't have any ice cream. This is a good thing. It's mama trying to not have things around at like 9 o'clock at night. But those are also easy areas that just saved $2 here and $2 there, and they all add up. So if you're feeling really depressed, you feel like you're doing everything right with your grocery budget, that's what I would encourage you to do just for a week or two. Let's get a feel. If I were to remove those splurge items, how much does that affect the grocery budget? And maybe for you it doesn't, or maybe for you you're like, ice cream is not a splurge. Ice cream is a requirement. I don't know. I have nights that I feel like that should be moved out of the splurge category. But just as some tips, if you're really trying to bring down the grocery budget, that would be something that might help too. Jamie, I love your comment as well. Biggest struggle is meat. They have an Amish community close, so we get whatever fruits and veggies are in season, but struggling to get meat and meat deals. Okay, so let's see. So what I would say for you, Jamie, if you can, would be obviously meat in bulk. I'm not sure where you live. There are some restaurant supply stores, so you could go hunting for, where is the nearest chef store to you? The U.S. Foods chef store is, there are a few locations across the Southeast. So there's a potential that you have a U.S. Foods chef store near you. And I will show you their website. So the chef store is owned by U.S. Foods, but anybody can shop there. So we have one of these in Columbia. We can head in and we can actually buy meat, produce in bulk. And they have some really great prices. Sam's and Costco also do sell in bulk. The prices aren't really that different over the sale price in the grocery store, but it can be a savings. Other options, you may not like the option, but hunting is a way to save on meat. So just to mention that, fishing, we can all go back to our roots here. Obviously, you have to have a fishing license, so no breaking the laws. Hunting licenses as well, but sometimes that's the same, like we forget that those are out there. So just in terms of naming ways to save, But bulk meats by far are always better than just grabbing a few that are on sale. Another big way to save on meat, if you don't have a restaurant supply store near you, and Chef Store is just one brand, there's a few other restaurant supply stores in the Southeast, Gordon Food Service, so you can hunt and see what is nearby you. But other options would be to find out when a local store does mark down their meat and trying to be there. And I know you said you've only really got one store within 30 minutes. So it might be, what day do you mark down your meat, trying to be there on that day so that you can take advantage of any of those offers that might be marked down. For us, lately, our meat has been coming from Lowe's Foods because Lowe's Foods has been, a particular Lowe's Foods, not getting a lot of traffic. I can always find some great markdown meat every time I go in. Now, it's hit and miss, and it's not necessarily what we would normally grab. It's kind of rare that I would grab chicken legs and chicken thighs. We tend to be boneless, skinless folks. But if that's what I'm going to find and it's 75 cents a pound, then that's what we're going to eat. It's whatever happens to be on sale. So clearance meat is also a key way to getting some meat deals. Other things in terms of meat, maybe changing some of your meals. So dinner for us tonight was breakfast. It's not a favorite around here anymore because we eat it a lot. But we have like 15 chickens in the side yard. So we need to eat eggs on a more regular basis. So maybe it's you hunting down just some different recipes to use up those eggs. If I could convince my husband to eat quiche, we could definitely handle more eggs. That is one meal that does not excite him, so we have to get a little more creative to use up all of our eggs. But I would encourage you to look at that. Just what is a cheaper cut of meat, maybe. Eggs being as cheap as you're going to get when it comes to protein, but then starting to think beyond that. So I mentioned chicken legs and chicken thighs. Way cheaper than chicken breast. I know that going with the white meat over the dark meat is better for you, but in this situation, you're getting protein. I'm not telling you to eat like a ton of it, just one serving. And in terms of the numbers, it's really not that different. But the price, you can get chicken legs less than $1 a pound. You're not going to get boneless, skinless chicken breasts for less than $1 a pound. So it really does start to kind of make a list in your brain of what are the cheapest sources of meat. And then I'm not saying that's all you eat, but we fill those in for a few meals each week using boneless, skinless chicken breasts for maybe one meal that week, or splurge and go steaks, whatever it might be, just one meal a week that is that more expensive cut of meat, going to the cheaper cuts of meat or cheaper protein options, beans even, for a meal or two as well, just to spread out the cost when it comes to those protein items. Okay, so a few more questions here. Great. So Kathy has a question kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier. The 40% that I mentioned when I say, we only cover what's on sale on the list that are on Southern Savers, that 40% that is listed there, is that for that item across all grocery stores, or is it 40% off that particular grocery store's price? So Kathy, honestly, for me, it tends to be 40% off of that price for that item, because when I'm going through things, my brain doesn't really think about it in the sense of this is a Publix deal or this is a Kroger deal. My brain really thinks of it as I would never pay that for whatever that product is. Now, the exceptions being like Publix buy one, get ones, or buy one, get ones in any store, this whole section right at the top. If it's buy one, get one, I add it. Now, the buy one, get one price could be higher at one store versus another. So that's, again, where maybe you could use the item search and you could compare as you go through and you are trying to hunt. But buy one, get one deals are 50% off, really, for that store. But the rest of the list, so when we get past buy one, get ones, or we're in a Kroger list, or another store that doesn't run buy one, get ones, usually just running off of my brain and the fact that, again, I wouldn't pay more than X for something. So kind of following the general item price versus focusing on what store it was in. Hopefully that makes sense. When is the season for mushrooms, Lorna, and can they be frozen and for how long? That is a very good question. So mushrooms it depends on where you live and where they're coming from. It's not necessarily a seasonal item so much because we can get it from all over the country. In the South, it is mushroom season now. So we want warm and humid, right? That's all a mushroom needs. So if you are in the South, that tends to happen mid-May and you're good to go. Freezing mushrooms, that is not something that I have ever done, but I would assume that they would be fine for baking and for cooking. What I would probably tend to do with them is more what you see done with them in the store. So you're not really going to find frozen mushrooms in the freezer section in the grocery store. You're going to find that folks have canned those mushrooms. And that's probably where I would turn you to focus on in terms of storing mushrooms, is to store them by canning them, which is really easy to do. You do not have to go and get any equipment. You just need some mason jars and a big stock pot, and then Google. This is the easiest thing versus me doing a whole Q&A on it, but you can Google just hot water bath canning, and you'll find all sorts of YouTube videos of folks walking you through how to do it in a large stock pot. I started doing this probably 15 years ago for tomatoes, but literally for me, it's a big pot of water, like the biggest pot you have, whatever that pot is. I put a dishcloth in the bottom of the pot. I know at first you're like, whoa, we're setting the house on fire. No, you're going to fill it with water. So the dishcloth is going to be wet. But the point of that is it's keeping the jar from banging on the bottom of the pot, right? We're going no extra equipment here. Big pot, dishcloth on the bottom of the pot. Put your jars in. You need 4 jars. They balance each other out. You can put dishcloths between them. Fill the pot with water, and you're good. So Google the rest for hot water bath canning, but those dishcloths are what is going to be your equipment. It's your cage for holding your jars still. They will kind of bump up against each other, but they won't break because you've protected them. It's like bubble wrap, right? Don't do that in a hot water bath. Dishcloths for that. But that's what I would recommend for storing tomatoes, mushrooms, a lot of things can be canned. We do not have to turn to our freezers as much as we do. And long term, canning actually lasts longer than freezing. And if you think about it, has no long term like electric cost to that. It's just in your pantry on a shelf. So really is a great way to put up a lot of veggies. Are there certain times when fresh veggies go on sale? So Rosenza, I would say obviously focusing on what is in season, a really great way to catch what is on season, and I will give you guys a link for this, is to look at a market report from the USDA. And so I have a shortened link for this, but if you do so.svrs.me/market, it's going to pull up a big like almost dot matrix report of what is on sale that day at the federal market in Columbia, South Carolina. Now, I live in Columbia, South Carolina, but there are only, I'm going to make this as big as I can for you guys. There are only, 19 federal markets in the country. It might even be 16. I might be off on my numbers. So this one, for most of the folks in the Southeast, is possibly the closest market to you. There is one in Atlanta. There's one in Miami. I think the next one after that's Missouri. But the point here is that you can see what is currently at the state market. That's what the grocery stores are buying from, guys. So you are getting an idea of what's in season. Now, a lot of these are not necessarily local. There is a whole section, if we scroll down, that is just out of state produce versus in-state, and you'll see how much is there. But what you're really seeing is what the going price is. So you can get an idea. First, how much is the grocery store marking this up? I can also get an idea. If I went to the farmer's market, what would I find at the farmer's market? And if I could buy in bulk, what kind of price would I get? Now, I say that if I could buy in bulk, because you don't really need to walk in and buy like 12 heads of cauliflower. That's what this line is that I just made blue. That's a lot of cauliflower. Now you could freeze it and it would do great. 12 heads of cauliflower would probably last you a really long time. 12 heads of cauliflower for $20. That's a crazy price compared to what you would see in the grocery store. Now, again, I say if you could buy in bulk because not everybody has the room to put up 12 heads of cauliflower. But just so you get some ideas, this is why I would also encourage you to look into combining with some friends. Say, hey, this summer, we're going to pool our money. We're going to try to get 8 things put up in the freezer in bulk. So this is like a unique way, basically, guys, to create a produce co-op. Now, produce co-op, you would do this all the time. You would buy more than just 8 items, but let's just say you and 4 friends decide that you're going to buy in bulk, and then you're going to come home and you're going to freeze those items and get them put up in the freezer. You could still do that with 4 friends. So this month we go in and we buy a case of bell peppers. That's what I currently have blue now. So this is bell peppers. It's a box of bell peppers. The box is literally like the size of a box of printer paper. It's a big box. It's going to come with about 60 to 80 peppers in it, depending on the size of the peppers. Current price, $25 for 60 to 80 peppers. In the grocery store, they're $1 a piece. So that's a huge discount. You and your 4 friends can split that up. That's a lot of bell peppers, but you can get them sliced. You can get them in the freezer. You've got bell peppers for every meal for the next year now. So if you did that, even 2 vegetables a month during the summer while things were in season, you would actually get quite a bit put up. So think about the vegetables that maybe you do use as side items in a meal, pieces of meals that you could get frozen while they are in season and get some really great prices on them. Now, to get the best prices at a farmer's market, it is buying the box of bell peppers. It is not buying the little basket of bell peppers. So that's why I'm showing you this report, and hopefully you can save that URL that I sent you. You can go on the USDA website and find a market that might be closer to you. But the prices aren't really going to be that different. It's really you getting an idea of what is available, then go and find a farmer's market that's closer to you in your area to buy in bulk from. But that's probably the best way to get as much fresh produce as you can put up. Besides having your own garden or your own raised beds, it's not too late to start either, guys. So if you're like, man, it's already June, put some seeds in the dirt. They will still grow. And if you live in the South, you still have a lot of growing time left. If you live up north, your growing time just started. I feel like as we came home over the last couple of weeks, realizing that really far north, spring hasn't even come to some states. Kind of blows my mind living in South Carolina to see that as we were out west recently. So it is still prime time to get things in a garden and growing. So do not feel like you've passed that point either. There's a lot of things you could grow in container gardens. We've done a number of posts on container gardens as well, so you could go hunting for those if you wanted to also. Paige, great question. Does Publix mark down meat? They do not. They're the one grocery store that does not mark down meat at all. They used to. They also used to mark down produce. And they got litigated by some people. So they do not do either of those anymore. What you will find in Publix, if you go to the meat counter, like to the actual window that still opens, right in front of that window is ground beef. And they have a particular type of ground beef that is called market ground beef. And that is kind of the reground pieces, some things that were about to get marked down, reground and turned into market ground. Sometimes it's just the ends of other things as they're cutting up different pieces. All ends up as market ground beef. It is the cheapest ground beef that you'll find in Publix. It's not set at a particular fat content because you'll find that sometimes it's actually pretty lean. Other times it's heavier on the fat content, but you can also look at it and just see how red it is to kind of gauge what type you're getting. but it's a great price for ground beef. So if you're ever hunting for ground beef, that market ground beef is what you're wanting in Publix if you don't care about the fat percentage. But that's the best you're going to get in terms of markdown meat in Publix, which is a bummer. There would be so many great deals if they did that. Okay. Oh, and then to kind of jump back, Crystal says we stopped buying sodas, juice, candy, specialty breads, frozen, ready-made goods. So yeah, there's a lot, and I'm proud of you for that list. That it's a hard list when we really start to look at the things that we want to grab in the grocery store. But then when we do start to leave those off, you start to realize the impact that they're having on your weekly budget for sure. Okay. Oh, sorry guys, just trying to catch up with questions. And some people are chiming in on freezing mushrooms too. So they only freeze mushrooms once they've been cooked, just as a tip for anyone that's wanting to do that. Okay. Okay, to jump back ahead, lots of comments tonight. Y'all are keeping my husband and I busy, I guess, to keep up with all of that. Okay, sorry guys. To get back on topic here, we've hit a few things, meal planning, following the sales. I did want to hit quickly mobile apps. If I were to tell folks we want to jump into couponing or you want to try to catch coupons as best you can, honestly, trying to keep tabs on all the mobile apps and all the coupons that are out there, it feels pretty impossible. So if you were going to jump into one thing, I would encourage it to be Ibotta. Keep in mind, we try our hardest to get these matched in with all the sales. So if you're using the Southern Savers list for Publix or Kroger or any of the grocery stores, the goal is that you're going to see these Ibotta offers right there whenever the item's on sale. But even if what you're grabbing is not on sale, you just had to have it and you couldn't wait until the sale came around, there's hopefully at least a deal that you can have on those items. So when you're using Ibotta, if you've never used Ibotta, you will find tons of offers here for items all over the store, from cheese to vitamins. All you're going to need to do is come in, load the offer. So I'll move the cursor here, but you see the little plus sign right there. So if I click the plus sign, that turns into a check mark. That offer has now been loaded to my shopping list. Depending on the store that you go to, some of these stores, your cart is linked. So I'm currently under Lowe's Foods. If I buy that Kraft shredded cheese in Lowe's Foods, they are going to tell Ibotta that I bought it. I don't have to do anything except hit that little plus sign. So I can go to town and hit all the little plus signs if I want to. I buy whatever I want. Lowe's is going to tell them that I bought it. I'm done. Now, not all stores are that simple. Publix, Kroger, some of those stores, you're going to need to come home and take a really quick picture of your receipt. But they've made this super simple. So if you tried Ibotta like 5-6 years ago, and you're, I don't want to do that. We used to have to scan all the barcodes of all the items. It's pretty rare that you're going to have to do that. You're really going to come home, take a picture of your receipt. The app is going to recognize everything that you bought, and you're done. So if your store is not a direct link store like Lowe's Foods, Food Lion, there's quite a few that are direct linked. But if your store is not, it's going to take you a minute and a half to just line up your receipt and take pictures of your receipt and be done. So don't let this hold you back. But there are hundreds of offers, and some of them are really great. Buy 2 of these and get $15 back. Not to mention, we just got coupons for these in Sunday's paper, but we're not talking paper coupons, not trying to scare anyone. But there are some great offers that are in this app that line up perfectly with sales that are running. So it does not have to be super hard to save some money when you're in the store. It can get even easier. I don't have anything nearby, but if you click this magnifying glass up here in this upper corner, you will get the ability to search. You could type in a product. That's the old way to do it. Don't type in a product. Instead, click again in that search box, and this little symbol right there is a barcode scanner. So when I click that barcode scanner, it's going to automatically pull up a barcode search. So you can just sit there and scan everything in the store if you want, and it's going to tell you whether or not there's a coupon that goes with that item. So super, super simple to be able to use these offers. These offers can be stacked as well. So if you head into the store and you see, oh, I'm in Lowe's Foods, and the tag tells you there's a digital coupon for that item, load it in your Lowe's Foods app or your Kroger app. You can still use Ibotta with that store's digital coupons or with a paper coupon if you had it as well. So super simple, not trying to say you have to get into couponing, but this is like mail-in rebates basically, but you didn't have to mail anything. You just had to load the offer. So it does not have to take a lot of time. Super simple way to save in pretty much every store that you're going into. So makes it very simple to feel like you've added in some coupons maybe without going back to getting the Sunday paper or any of the other parts of what maybe you did years ago. Doesn't have to be a ton. Okay, so Nadine's asking, has our grocery budget stayed about the same? So Nadine, for us, it has. Now, some of that has been that this spring, I did not do a ton of grocery shopping. So we ate out of our freezer. It had a pretty big stock of meat and veggies that we really needed to work through. I've got a great garden going thanks to my 9-year-old who pretty much planted the whole thing by herself. I'm curious to see how it all comes up. But we have big plans there. So we needed to get out a lot of what we put in the last year out of the freezer. So we've not been doing a ton of grocery shopping. We've also been trying to stick really hard to meal plan, buying only what we're going to use that is on sale, and then focusing just on our meals as well. So our grocery budget has not currently been impacted. I need to start to get some more meat deals, but we've also gone kind of back to the basics as well. So I mentioned I splurged and got my sparkling water last week, but really not doing a lot of splurges on other items, just sticking with what we need to make our meals happen and not getting more than that. So not spending more money, but I probably am coming home with a little less on the splurge item categories than we used to. For those new to couponing, when you click on Ibotta offer while it's in your account, yes, thank you for that reminder, Emily, for Ibotta, and I'll stick it up here for everyone too, that when you load that Ibotta offer, it's not actually your Ibotta offer, right? So I've clicked the little plus sign or the little check mark, but it doesn't mean, and I'll pull that back up just so that you guys see it too. But just because we've loaded whatever that offer is, doesn't mean that Florida Naturals lemonade is going to just stay there forever. It might go away. So you want to double check before you check out that offer is still there. A really simple way to do that, I don't know if you noticed, but as I add things, there's a green dot down here in the bottom, and that's going to show everything that is currently loaded. If it doesn't show up, and you clicked the box, then it's gone. Now, if you're doing this as you shop, you're scanning barcodes and you're loading as you shop, you're probably good. It's not going to disappear in the 30 minutes of you checking out. But Emily is right. You don't want to just assume that that offer is still hanging around. You will be a little disappointed in the end that it didn't stay. So just thank you for that reminder. What grocery store in Texas, what is a grocery store in Texas that marks down meat and produce? So Elizabeth, I don't know what you have around you. There's a lot of Ralph's and King Soopers that are all owned by Kroger. They all do meat markdowns. All of the Kroger affiliates, there's 29 stores that Kroger owns. They all do. So not as you go out west, I'm not sure where the brands start to change, whether you have a Ralph's, a King Super, Tom Thumbs, not Kroger, but still do markdowns as well. H-E-B, I'm not 100% sure what their markdown policy is, but I want to say that I've seen them in there as well. Trying to think, I've only been to Texas 3 times in my life, but I did manage to hit grocery stores every single trip. So in terms of hunting around, the easiest thing to do though is just to ask your store, hey, do you mark down meats? And what day do you mark them down? Or do you have a set time that you tend to mark them down? The other great question, do you pull them to a separate little area? So one of the big stores that used to be big in the South anyways, kind of has gone away in our area, but was called the Pig or Piggly Wiggly. They used to take all of their markdown meats and they would actually move them to a particular section in the refrigerated meat case. Well, all you need to do is know where that section is, right? And that becomes your go-to stop every time you come into the grocery store. So asking them day or time, location, just getting some clear idea on what to hunt for when you're in the store for meat is going to be a help. So Shanna's saying your Kroger closed last year, so you're left with, I'm guessing Publix is moving in because Publix is trying to take over North Carolina. If you've still got an Ingles, they do mark down as well. And a lot of times, guys, another tip for meat, the smaller the grocery store, the better the meat prices. So if your options are like a little tiny IGA, a mom and pop kind of grocery store, there could actually be some great meat deals in there, definitely on clearance, because they don't have the national connections to run buy one, get one deals and mega events that the other large grocery stores are running all the time. They have meat and produce. So those small grocery stores tend to offer some pretty great discounts on meat and produce because that's all they've got to give you those markdowns and that encouragement to come into the store. So smaller the grocery store, typically the better you're going to find for meat and produce deals. Okay. No Publix, Shanna. Well, odds are if you hold your breath long enough, Publix is coming. That's what it feels like for North Carolina. That's all I see is them opening more and more. But yes, Harris Teeter does have some great meat deals. Harris Teeter is owned by Kroger. So you lost your Kroger, but you kind of got one when Kroger bought Harris Teeter. Okay, let's see. I'm going through my list of everything that I had. I feel like we've hit most of everything that I had pulled aside just in quick tips to cut your grocery budget. To take this a step further, if you are really feeling like, you need to take your grocery budget's out of control or we need to get things back in check, I would encourage you to then look at, as I mentioned earlier, adding in the drugstore deals that are running and the amount of things that we do get in the drugstores for next to nothing. So if I can add in, you know what, I'm not going to do this every week. Maybe once a month, I'm going to go to CVS, or once a month, I'm going to go to Walgreens and I'm going to grab our toothpaste and our toothbrushes, the cheap deals that are running for the items that we need. That is going to free up some extra money that hopefully will either help the budget overall or will help the grocery budget if you are putting that all in the same category. So every week I do a video with you guys on Tuesdays of the top deals, but there's even a few money makers this week. But in terms of drugstore shopping, that's what we're going to do next Monday night, is just how to shop CVS and Walgreens. Again, just a basics, but I do want you to realize free toothpaste, free toothbrushes. We've got $1 hair care this week in CVS for Garnier Fructis. You've got 99-cent razors in Walgreens. A lot of these are just with coupons, but some are definitely using their rewards programs. You can also turn around and use those rewards to grab other things. So I was in Walgreens today taking pictures for tomorrow's video. Not really anything that I have to have in Walgreens. There is free toothpaste and there's some cheap flossers and whatnot. But in particular, what I did grab while I was in there, beyond a few of those oral care deals, was buy one, get one refried beans and buy one, get one olives. My 7-year-old made a comment on how random that was. So I agree. It's a random purchase for Walgreens, but they're buy one, get one. It works and I can use rewards on them. So just grabbing those 4 cans, I left the store, paid with some rewards and paid 28 cents for them. That's still groceries. Now, the rewards are from using point boosters and taking advantage of the other deals that are running. So it doesn't really affect me. I still have like $50 in Walgreens rewards. But that's the point. If I need toilet paper or paper towels, that's where they're coming from. They're going to come from the sales that are running this week in the drugstore and paying with rewards that I already have from the drugstore. No, it's not a moneymaker. I'm not going to make up those rewards, but I'm basically getting to pay for things that I need with Monopoly money. Like, if you're going to take your own pretend money, I'm going to give you pretend money. So that's the perk of shopping in drugstores. And that is one area that if you feel like you're stuck or you're, just stuck and not getting any further with the grocery budget, that I would say the drugstores are still there. Or if you've never tried them, that it's time to get your feet wet and figure them out, because paying with rewards is pretty fun. It's a little addictive, but it can be a huge way to have a great impact on your overall budget by knocking out a lot of the deals that are running in the drugstores. And Renza, I do not cover ShopRite on Southern Savers. Sorry. CVS Care Pass, yes. So if you are even semi-regular CVS shopper, you want to be using Care Pass. That is where you pay. I am on the yearly plan, so you pay $48 a year, and you get $10 every month. That's just $10 in rewards to use on whatever you want. So for me, I actually used it today on a deal that my husband was asking for, telling you we have a garden out there. So what we have found, a weird thing we have found that keeps the deer out of the garden is taking ivory soap and shredding it and putting it around the borders of the garden. The deer don't like ivory soap, I guess. So I was sent on the mission to find ivory soap. Well, my Care Pass handled that today. So grabbed 2 6-packs or 8-packs of ivory soap and paid less than $1 for both of them after the sale and the $10 Care Pass that was just sitting in my account. So Care Pass is pretty awesome. And yes, there are still things that we have soap around here, but we didn't have ivory soap. So rather than using up the soap stash that I have for the rest of us, we'll get our own soap for the garden. Weird things that people buy, right? But an example too of where the drugstores can come in handy. Don't have to have that come out of the budget necessarily. Already had the Care Pass that could handle that cost. Okay, and LaDonna, I completely understand. She says, I don't have any more room for drugstore items. So what I would encourage you there, and that's why I was saying you don't have to go every week, is the same for us. I don't really need any more toothpaste, and there's free toothpaste every week, but I don't buy it every week. I might grab free toothpaste once a month, but even then, I could probably take a whole year off from toothpaste because it is free so much. We have a whole drawer of toothpaste. What I will do in the drugstores is when we see a moneymaker, so right now there's a $1 moneymaker on Effordent. That's one of the deals that we're going to talk about tomorrow. I do have some folks that can use Effordent to clean their retainers, but they don't really need any more right now. It's still a moneymaker. So I would encourage you on some of those deals that you still grab them and donate them, but you've made a little bit of money that will help to pay for paper towels and detergents and other things that you might need. But when you're stocked, then you just really need to get into a habit where you go once a month. And you're just going to make sure that your rewards don't expire, right? I don't want to waste $10 in pretend money. I want to at least get something for that $10. So eventually, when you've really got the drugstores down, you're really only needing to go there once a month just to keep your rewards going. And now you can really shop online too. You could still get your rewards, have the items delivered to you, get more rewards, and you'd be set. You wouldn't even have to go into the store if you didn't want to. Oh, and Shanna, I'm going to have to leave my husband to tell you about deer and ivory soap. I just was told to purchase the ivory soap, but according to him, he did this last year, and it worked really, really well. I am not the one that have to try to keep the deer out of the garden. That's totally his job, and a dog's job now. I keep joking that we're going to build a dog house in the middle of the garden just so that he will sleep out there and keep all the deer away. But he feels that it is his personal job whenever he's outside. So between him and the ivory soap, hopefully our garden's going to make it. Okay, so we have hit time for tonight, and we hit a lot of things, a lot of great simple ways that you could cut your grocery budget. Hopefully this helps, even if it's just to get you thinking about the ideas that you're bringing home, thinking about what's for dinner, so you go into the store with a plan. Next week, we are going to cover the basics on how to shop CVS and Walgreens and to get the deals in CVS and Walgreens. I don't mean the deals. That's a different video, right? That's Tuesdays at 2. But next Monday night will be just a how to shop the drugstore. So if you are old, come and help me explain it to everyone. If you are not and it's brand new to you, I encourage you to dive in. It's a lot of fun. It's actually what got me hooked on couponing a long time ago. So I would encourage you to at least be willing to try the deals, even if it's just a couple deals a week. So join me next Monday night at 8:30, same time, same place. And if you can make it, join me tomorrow at 2 as we go through all of the top deals this week in CVS and in Walgreens. If you can't join live, it's always recorded and you can watch it after the fact. So hopefully you'll be able to catch those deals this week if you're willing to dive right in, or just wait till next week and learn all the basics and then head to the store. But hopefully this helps you guys at least get some ideas to bring down the grocery budget, to get things back under control as best we can for the summer and get a little bit more saved. So thanks for joining me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday night and a great week, and I will talk